Titans talk continues along here after a win over the Colts. 19-10 yesterday at Nissan Stadium as Tennessee improves to 4-2. A game and a half up on Indianapolis, but really it's 2.5 because they've got the season sweep in hand in the AFC South standings. We go back to the phones. Say hello to James. James, good evening and welcome to Titans Talk.
Yes, sir. I'd like to, can you help me understand about the new proposal of the stadium? And I thought maybe the reason why they said that they needed a new stadium was to compete for Super Bowl. But it appears that this is probably would be the smallest stadium in the league with only 66,000 room capacity. And that's about half the size of most college stadiums. Also, on the same point, has there ever been a study, a feasibility study of opening up Titan stock open to the public, where just like maybe the Green Bay Packers, they are, they have public stock, and there's probably the only one in the league that, that the people actually own the team. I think you would have less hassles about PSLs, about as far as the cost and everything else involved in the stadium. That's all I had to say.
Okay, I'll try and tackle those for you, James. I appreciate the call. The stock idea is an interesting one. It's not going to happen, though, because the Adams family owns the team, and they're not going to divest shares to a bunch of other people, even in small increments. Green Bay is a very unique situation. It is the only professional sports team in the world that has essentially public ownership of the professional sports franchise. So don't expect that you're going to see that here or anywhere else anytime soon. It also wouldn't necessarily work for this purpose, talking about a stadium, because you get a few shares sold here or there that may or may not equal the value of a seat license. It doesn't do anything for people who maybe had a previous seat license and credits in there, and it's just kind of a mess. It doesn't really work out. So that idea, while nice, and I think it would be great if we could somehow involve the public more in these teams in terms of ownership and feeling like they're involved, it's just not going to happen here or anywhere else. In terms of the stadium itself, the whole idea is the Titans need a better stadium than the one they're in, because it is rapidly moving towards the bottom third, maybe even bottom handful of stadiums in the league to go watch a game, to have a locker room in, to do other business in, all the things that come with having a professional football stadium. Is it okay today? Yes, it's a fine place to watch a game, but it is rapidly moving towards the bottom half of the league. And as we've talked about many times on this program, it's not just about what you do on Sunday with the Titans. It's about all the other things that you can attract to a state-of-the-art facility like the one that is being proposed to be built. You can attract a Super Bowl. They will. I have had discussions with people within the Titans organization and people at the NFL league office. And if the Titans build this stadium, a Super Bowl will come to Nashville. I don't know when, I don't know how soon, but if this stadium is built, a Super Bowl will come. If we don't build the stadium, there will be no Super Bowl. It is as simple as that. So that is the fundamental truth about what's coming. But it's not just the Super Bowl. As we've talked about before, it's the chance to host a national championship game. It's a chance to host Final Fours in basketball. I wish JB was here because he'd be all over the idea of WrestleMania in that new stadium. There are so many things that you can do in a stadium like that. And then the idea that you'd have an enclosed roof, so you put the winter months on the table for having stadium concerts, that hasn't really been feasible here because of the weather for 4 or 5 months of the year. then nobody wants to have a concert outside and run the risk of it being a miserable experience. You put the roof on the stadium and make it that special, well, now you can have concerts year-round. That's huge. I've also had discussions with people within the Titans organization that say having a stadium like this, and this is just an ancillary benefit for the community. Nissan Stadium right now is very limited on what it can do in terms of being, the quote I got was house of the people. You can't really host youth games or have high school football games in there because it's a grass surface that's outside. You can't really have big events all year round because the weather precludes you from doing that. Their hope in this new stadium is to have high school football games of the week there, to maybe one day get the state championships in that building. And you can play all those games. You can play 3 days worth of 3 games and have a Titans game on Sunday because it will be inside on an artificial state-of-the-art surface and not grass. You'll be able to host major functions throughout the course of the week, no matter if there's a game on Sunday or not, no matter if it's in the middle of January or not. That can be fundraisers for charities and other organizations in the community. You can do job fairs for people in the community. They've talked about the potential to maybe do school-related things with trips and all that. They hope this building gets used a lot more than what the current one does. So that's the goal. That is what the Titans have laid out. That is what Mayor Cooper is hoping happens if it gets done. And I hope I answered the question there. It's not going to get the money through other ownership means. The Titans are putting a lot of money in, but that is the Adams family themselves, Amy Adams Strunk leading the charge there. And then everything else is about the benefits that come to the city when it's done. And I know we've had debates on whether that's good or bad or whether you think that's where the focus should be right now, but that is the goal. It is to bring major events here that will fill up hotel rooms, fill up restaurants, bring money, bring the sales tax that comes with it, and it is to increase the opportunities here locally to use a venue like that and to also have the Titans play in a state-of-the-art building that would be one of the best, very best in the league, as opposed to one now that is near the bottom of the league. Go back to the phones and say hello to Mac. Mac, good evening.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good.
Hey, I'm going to go back to the state representative. You know, if you're going to take a knee to the national anthem, we shouldn't build them nothing. You can deal with what you got.
Nobody has taken a knee to the national anthem in at least 3 years.
Okay. Well, I seen it 3 days ago on the news.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know who said that, but no one would.
State representative. Okay.
Well, that's fine. I didn't see it, but no one involved with the Titans organization has taken a knee during the national anthem since at least 2019.
Okay. Well, that's what she said the other day, and I was kind of mad about that.
Okay. Well, I'm just telling you what has actually happened. So, I mean,
okay, that's all.
2018, 2019, you could have that conversation.
Build it then.
Okay.
I must have watched the wrong news station.
Well, I don't know if you watched anything wrong, Mac, and I appreciate the call. State representatives often say things that aren't right. And maybe that representative's still holding the grudge over something that happened years ago. I mean, I know people who've stopped watching the NFL to this day because of what happened during that whole time. I'm just saying that when we're having this conversation now, it seems, I don't know, a little short-sighted to make that be the deal. There's not a single player on the team currently that was around, that was a part of anybody who did that back then. These guys here have stood for the anthem for multiple years now. They've definitely turned the page from that. And so it seems like any discussion about building the stadium should be about what this team is doing currently in the city and what it means for the city. And ultimately, it's a question about the long term. I've had a couple people, I think we had somebody last week call in on the program who said that he doesn't think that the team deserves a new stadium, that they need to win a championship before the new stadium should come. Sort of a earn it, and then we will give you a stadium thing. And while I follow the logic there, ultimately, the stadium itself is going to have very little impact on what the Titans do on the field. Yes, it will be nicer. Yes, they'll have a better locker room in the stadium. Yes, you'll probably have a better experience when you go to the game. But it's not going to mean much for the Titans themselves on the field in terms of wins and losses. What a new stadium opens up the door for Nashville is all the things I laid out before. It's the opportunity to host the global stages that come with a state-of-the-art facility. We can't host the Super Bowl right now. We're not going to get the College Football National Championship game right now. We're not going to get a Final Four. We're not going to get WrestleMania. We're not going to have the chance to host a World Cup game down the road. Those things aren't happening here right now because of the stadium and the state of it. The city itself has proven that it can put on big events as well as any place in the world. But we don't have the facility to do it right now. This new stadium will open the door to every event in the world. There will be no event, maybe shy of the Olympics, that Nashville won't be able to host if this new stadium comes. Everything else is on the table. That's what this stadium opens the door to. And hopefully the other things that the Titans talked about that are more smaller events but can be day in and day out community benefits out of it. And again, you may not agree with it. You may think there should be another thought, but that's the argument here. And I don't think it has anything to do with whether the Titans win the division this year or win the Super Bowl or anything like that. And I really don't think it should matter what happened 3, 4, 5 years ago in terms of the national anthem or anything else. The fundamental question that the Metro Council and the Sports Authority and, frankly, the residents of Nashville who are interested and want to talk to their representatives about, the fundamental question is, do you believe that that ability to open the city up to the biggest events in the world and the money that comes in with it, the opportunity that comes in with it, do you think that is a benefit worth investing in? Do you think for the future of this city that's worth it? Do you think the benefit of having a great stadium, one of the best in the league to go to on Sunday, the chance for TSU to play in that stadium, the chance for a bowl game to be in that stadium, the chance for other events locally and internationally to be in that stadium is worth the investment? And that's the question. It's a question about what you want Nashville, what you want the sports scene to look like in 5, 10, 15 years. The Titans want it to be that major event town. The mayor wants it to be that major event town on the East Bank. The question is, does the rest of the community support that idea? And we'll find out in the coming weeks. Take a break. More of your phone calls straight ahead. 737-7767, the number. This is Titans Talk on News Channel 5+.